So, Ms. Joy asked me to come and speak to the faculty and staff, and brought back a lot of memories from my first day here in August 2002. And so I wrote out kind of what I wanted to speak about. And then this morning, walking in here, I came in a little late, work got me tied up, and then I was talking to Miss Susan. I basically said I'm gonna throw out what I was writing and what I was gonna say. So everything I say from now on is really just coming from my heart, and it's really just gonna be off the top of my mind. I have some few points, but it's not gonna be the normal speech I was gonna give you guys. So we're gonna go from there. I'm gonna talk first. Let me begin. Deon Gaines, as Mr. Joy said, I graduated in 2006. I was the student body president. I also was involved in basketball. I was a 4-year varsity leader in basketball. I was also involved in a lot of our community service, from food club, service, Special Olympics, a lot of different things that I really enjoyed. But those really don't define me too much, I would say. Really what defined me from this time in this school is how much I grew as a young man. As a boy at the time, but how I grew into a young man after I left here, and then continued to grow today. But let me start when I first came to MBA, which was in August of 2002, and I don't know if they still do this, but they had the whitewater rafting trip to the Ocoee for the freshmen, and I only knew 2 of my classmates at the time, 2 guys I grew up playing basketball with, but that's all I knew. My parents live out in Brentwood, Tennessee. I went to Woodland Middle School before coming to MBA. Great school. I thought I was prepared for MBA. Mr. Bernatavitz told me I wasn't, and I learned that very quickly in Latin class. My freshman year, I was not prepared as I should have been. But August 2002, it really started my journey to be the man I am today, and it really started here at MBA. But let me go back a few months before then. I don't know if too many people in here know this, but actually I did not apply to MBA during the normal academic year. I actually was going, and my parents turned in a deposit. I was going to Brentwood Academy. I lived close to there. I lived 10 minutes away. From a basketball standpoint, I had friends that were going there. It seemed like a perfect fit to everyone besides my parents and everyone besides myself. And it was around, I would say, April or May of 2002. I woke up one morning, I had a conversation, my grandmother called me, and she goes, "Deon, are you really excited to go to Brentwood Academy next year? It's going to be a great challenge for you." I just kind of said, "I'm not sure about it. I'm going there. It's going to be great, I guess, basketball-wise, but I don't really think I'm going to be challenged." I knew the people there socially. It was living in my backyard, so it wasn't going to be really of a challenge to me. And she encouraged me to think on it and pray on it for a week. And she said, "Well, talk to your parents, and maybe you need to look at the all-boys school." My father went to all-boys school in Cleveland, Ohio, and so she was a big proponent of the all-boys format. So after a week or so, I talked to my mom, and I talked to her after I think I had a track practice, and I said, "Mom, you're going to really be mad at me. That deposit for Brentwood Academy, I need you to try to see if you can get it back. I really want to go to MBA. Let's try to do whatever we can to get me in, but I think that's the school that's really going to challenge me." Got to meet with Mr. Joya, took the test at the time. I think I did well enough. I obviously got in. That started my experience. I want to say that and start and talk about that and how I decided not to go to BA, because it really shaped my time at MBA and shaped me as a person. At that time, I was told a lot of things from a lot of different people. "Deon, you're going to be a great athlete. Deon, you're going to be," at the time I had an afro. "Deon, you look like Kobe Bryant. You're going to be Kobe Bryant. Deon, you do so many things on the basketball court." But rarely anyone talked to me about things I did in the classroom or things I did outside the classroom. And I think that was starting to frustrate me, because I wanted to be more than just an athlete, especially at that age. I was only 14 at the time. for people to put those expectations on you just to play a sport that I just played for fun, it was a lot of pressure, and I wanted to be something more than that. That's what really attracted me to NBA. And so when I got to NBA, they showed me the great facilities and all that great stuff, but I spent more time on this campus talking to teachers, walking into classrooms, understanding that there were so many other opportunities outside of learning and outside of playing sports that was at this school. And that was really very enticing for me. So my freshman year, we went on the Coe trip. I fell in the water. One of my classmates had to get me out. We had a big ordeal about it, and actually to this day, he's still, I'm really good friends with the guy that pulled me out of the water. He still talks about how he saved my life to this day. So that, it's 14 years, and he's still not going to let that down. But my freshman year was difficult. I mean, it was. I was adjusting into a new school, a very tough curriculum. I was a straight A student at Woodland Middle School. Really a straight A student my whole life. Really never, I can remember, I never saw a B until I got to MBA. And I saw a very low B, Mr. Bernatavitz. I'm going to pick on you a little bit. Latin 1 was tough my freshman year. But it was great because I was getting challenged academically here that I've never been challenged before in my life. One of the other challenges I had my freshman year, I was like any other teenager adjusting to all boys school. It was a shock, to say the least, that I could not see girls on a day-to-day basis, and the girls I saw were my teachers, and so yeah, that was that. So. So my freshman year, I during the summer, they had me come down and work out a lot before the school year started. It looked like I was going to be able to get an opportunity to compete, to start on the varsity team. I think I earned that opportunity throughout the summer, and basically going to my freshman year, I knew that was going to be on my plate outside of the academics, but I was going to have to be the starting point guard on a varsity team with 18-year-old young men and a lot of older people that I was going to have to start leading and be responsible to direct them. So that was always on my mind and a challenge on top of that. Other things going on during my life that time, I was driving in from Brentwood, Tennessee into MBA every day. I know the school now has diversified enough where we have kids from all over the place, but at that time I was the only student from Brentwood, Tennessee in my class. And I don't know about you guys, but driving in every day with your mom and every afternoon with your mom or dad is a very, very tough, especially when you have about 45 minutes in the car with them every day. So my mom, hey, Deon, how's class going? Did you do your homework? My dad, hey, how's basketball? All these questions, 45 straight minutes there and back every morning. And this is before we had cell phones, so I can get distracted in the car. So it was very challenging from that standpoint. So my freshman year, I had all these expectations. Deon, you're going to be you're going to be the varsity starting point guard. You're coming into this new school. My parents put very high academic expectations on me to do very well in school, to continue the straight A's. And then I had to adjust to a different social life. I had my graduating class, I think, ended up being about 103. And out of those 103, I only knew 2 of them going into this school. So socially, I was going to have to adjust to people I've never met before. And it was a challenge because a lot of kids were friends from 7th grade and 8th grade, or a lot of kids were friends from other schools that they were coming into. My school at the time was not a feeder school. So that was a difficult adjustment for me. I started, after a few months, I started understanding the higher academic expectations. I started adjusting that way, and right when I did that, I thought things were flowing, basketball season started. My freshman year basketball, there was a lot for me to deal with. I had guys that were older than me, I took their spot. I had guys that were not ready for a freshman to step up, and when you're the point guard of a basketball team, you have to do so much to make sure everyone's in the right position, the right place, and the right time. And I was 14 years old, having to communicate with people I really didn't have a relationship at all about it. And that was very much of a challenge for me. My freshman year, we won only 4 games. I just came from a team, and I came from travel basketball teams where we won national championships and state championships. And I think in a 3-year period, I may have lost 4 games total. And I came in my freshman year and I only, won 4. So it was very difficult for me. It was very difficult for me to handle losing like I've never done before. I think during that time is also as I was struggling again with academics. And by struggling for me, I had this expectation I was going to get straight A's. And putting in the effort that I was used to putting in was not going to get me those straight A's anymore at this school. I had to really work hard, really challenge myself to spend 5 hours after basketball practice when I didn't get home till 8 o'clock to spend working, getting up earlier, going to see people, help room, everything. Towards the end of my basketball year, going into the spring, new expectations were put on me again. I was invited to be part of one of the elite travel basketball teams, and it was a lot of pressure. My parents were really excited. I was really excited for the opportunity, but at the same time, I was going to be traveling every weekend for the rest of the school year, and I knew how much work I had to do academically to handle it, so I was really nervous about it. Finished up my freshman year. Academically, I got better as the year went on. My parents came to me and said, "Deon, you don't really look yourself. You don't look as happy as you used to be. You don't smile the same way. You don't have the energy. What's going on? Do you want to look at leaving NBA?" And I think at this time, and this is how I'm going to tie it back into you guys, I think at this time there was one guy, I'm going to call out, but there were several, but Coach Redmond at the time, he wasn't a coach of mine at all. He wasn't even my weight training coach. But he told me something that stuck with me. He said, "Deon, everything great that you want to achieve, you're going to have to go through some very tough adversity for it. And this is just part of the process. And don't try to skip the process to get where you want to go." And so my parents asked me again after a week, and they said, "Deon, are you really sure you want to stay here? Do you want to look at transferring out to another school?" And I told them, I said, "You know what? This was a very tough year for me. I might not have been myself, but I'd feel like I was quitting. I was not embracing the challenge. I wasn't embracing the adversity if I just left." That decision ended up being the best decision of my life. Now, to talk about you guys, a lot of my memories that I have throughout my 4 years here were very tremendous. And a lot of the things I thought about today, to speak to you guys on today, were memories that weren't in the classroom, weren't on the basketball court. They were just interactions, walking from class to class, service projects, several different things. I'm going to highlight a few teachers. I know a lot of you in here. I can't say all of your names, so I'm going to highlight a few in instances. Miss Hollyfield, I took your class, Art 1, my senior year. I am by far the worst artist that's probably ever gone through your class. You would never let me quit. You made sure I was always on top of my work, and I really appreciate that to this day. I have gotten better at stick figures, so I have improved a little bit. Mr. Kelly, never had you. You weren't my English teacher. I didn't have you for any sport. I'm pretty sure we didn't even work on any service projects together. But your energy that you brought to class every day, there you are, Mr. Kelly. The energy you brought to class every day, the spirit that you brought to class every day, and just the fact that you would reach out to me and talk to me when I was walking in the halls really meant a lot to me. So I really appreciate that. I don't think he's in here, Coach V. Coach V was on me from day one. I was about 120 pounds when I came in. I couldn't lift 100 on the bench press. And he really pushed me every day. I really appreciate that. I've already talked about Mr. Bernatavitz. Thank you very much. You were by far my lowest Latin grade that I had through my 4 years here. However, I will say your class, and you challenged me consistently. And you knew I was disappointed, and I might not have been performing the way that you wanted me to. But you were always there and very supportive. And you were there and very supportive in ways that weren't academics, but you would always be there to say, hello, how's your day going? And I really appreciate that, and that really helps me. Miss Howe, thank you very much. I know you're shocked I'm bringing up your name, but thank you very much. You were always a bright and smiling face to see in the mornings. The small things like that, just smiling at a student in the morning when it's a challenging day, really brings out the best in people and really helps them to focus on what's really important in life. So I really appreciate that. Coach Klausner, Mr. Klausner, I never had you. I think maybe we talked a couple times at the time about college counseling, but I never had you as a teacher or a coach. But you brought this positive energy that I wanted to replicate throughout my time at MBA. You were always very positive. You were always very happy. You always try to find the bright side of whatever the challenge could be. That's something I wanted to imitate, and I tried to imitate as I became a leader throughout the school, so I really appreciate that. So those are a few of the teachers, and there's a lot and many more, and there's a lot as I'm looking around. There's a lot of people I could talk about, and thank you guys. But what I really want to talk about and really make sure you guys understand is none of this was academic things that you guys did that really made an impact. It was very simple things. It was saying hello, smiling, patting me on the back when I was down, encouraging me still when I was continually failing. Those things might seem very insignificant. They might seem very short at the time, but they're very impactful in my life and how I was able to shape myself into a young man. So I really appreciate that. So let me sum up a few things. Mr. Joya, thank you very much for thinking of me to speak this morning. It's a privilege and honor to be here. When he told me initially that he wanted me to come speak, he said, Deon, I want you to bring some energy back into the schools. We start the school year and bring something that they can take away and take to the school year. And I got really excited about it. But as time went on, I realized that I was learning so much and remembering so much from this experience and getting to think back about these things. I look at my job today. I was thinking this morning when I was in a meeting, things that MBA instilled in me from a man as a young boy at the time and growing into a man academically in several different ways of giving back as well. They prepared me to handle my job today. And it's very invaluable, and I really, really appreciate everyone's work. Again, thank you guys for your time. I'm truly humbled, and great to see everyone. Thank you, guys.